Hi, guys, and we're
Hi.
live.
Good
Happy
afternoon.
Monday, and it feels like a Monday. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of ISN Vintage Real Talk, and that is the Insta Shop Network sellers bringing you a plethora of information about really selling on Instagram and what it's really like. So, today I have some wonderful guests. I love these ladies, they're all great sellers. Cathy is Mid Mod Blonde, and she's an ISN member specializing in MCM goodies. We have 19 somethings, Lori and Jackie. Welcome, ladies.
Hi. Thank you for having us.
And these girls sell a little bit of everything and do some shop with me's, which we're going to talk about. And Emily of Eiling Thrifted, welcome, girly. New to live sales, but like really jumped in, and Emily's killing it. So glad to have you guys here.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
I feel so honored to be on here today.
Oh, well, I'm so thrilled
Thank
to
you
have you
so
guys.
much.
Thank you guys for all being here today. It's always a fun time to just try to chat it up and talk about what this is really like and what we do and so on. So the way I love to start is letting everybody get to know you guys. Hi, Renovative Home. Hello. And what I mean by that is I want you all to let people know how you started your shop, how that all kind of metamorphosized to you selling on Insta, if you sold somewhere before and what that was like, and then maybe kind of where you want to go with it. So that's how we're going to get the convo rolling today. We will start with Cathy, and then we'll go to Lori and Jackie and finish up with Emily. And we're all going to kind of tell our selling stories. And then we have some great topics to tackle today. If you guys do have questions, please feel free to answer them. Ask them, and we will do them. And it is good to see you. Hello, Mary. Hi, Carol. Hi, Renovative Home. Roberta, welcome, guys. Oh, thank you. We enjoy them too. I find I feel a little less alone. Cathy and I were talking about that, like just knowing that other people kind of deal with the same stuff that we deal with as sellers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely good to not commiserate, but have the camaraderie of being able to relate to one another as small businesses operating autonomously, but like all doing the same thing. So
right.
Good feeling in our community. So Cathy, take it away. Tell us a little bit about you and your shop and how this all evolved.
Okay, so just a little bit about me. I am an artist. I love painting, drawing. My whole life, that's what I've done. And then it kind of slowly trickled into like decorating my house. And I've always loved thrifting and finding cool and unique stuff. So that's kind of like where I started with it. So I started selling a few things on Mercari, like randomly. And then I always watched, actually, Marcy was my first shop that I watched a live on. And I had bought like a couple things from her and like something from Allison. Well, Allison had messaged me on Mercari and she bought like a bunch of Christmas stuff from me. Well, her and I happened to put two and two together. And she's like, hey, I know you from Instagram. And she like talked me into, she's like, hey, you should sell your stuff on there because it was all Christmassy at the time, things that I usually had. She's like, you should sell on there. Let's do a live sale. Well, I was like one of the most shy, introverted persons. I'm going to tell you right now, this has totally given me so much confidence and just like broke me out of my shell. And I have to thank Allison for keeping on pushing me to do that. It was like, I was literally terrified the first time I came on camera, but
I get that.
She was so wonderful and we had such a good time. It was like, it just like clicked for me. And I was like, this is amazing. I was meeting people on here that I enjoyed. We had the same, things that we loved. We're sharing with each other. We're sharing with others who may not have the opportunity to get those things or see those things. Mm-hmm. And I think it's gratifying both ways, for the buyer and for the seller. And, when people are coming back to you saying, oh, I loved this item that you got for me, or they're looking for something and you're able to help them find that for their home, and it brings them so much joy. So that's the main part of it that I love. But to get back to how I started on it. So it was me and Allison did our live sale, and then I just decided, you know what? Okay, I'm going to go for it. So I started posting a couple small things on there. Her and I did like 2 or 3 sales together in the beginning and started, and then it just like kind of slowly trickled from there. And like I said, something, I don't know what it was, but it really, I told Allison, it really changed everything for me. It's very emotional for me because I'm a very introverted person. I mean, even my daughter was like, Mom, I can't believe you're doing this. She's like, this is so like out of the realm for you, because I'm like the person that when you go somewhere, I'm the one that sits towards the back and is like, oh my God, please don't look at me. Please don't talk to me, because I don't know what to say, you know?
Yeah.
But everyone in this community has been so welcoming and so loving. And I watched you guys' lives. I want you to know I watch your lives all the time.
Oh,
Even in the background of whatever I'm doing in the car, you know, I'll put it on the speaker so I could hear you guys. It just brings me joy and comfort. And you learn a lot from watching other people too.
So true.
But that's where my story begins, with Allison Skeleton Keys in the Closet. She's the one that got me into doing that. And now I'm enjoying it. And I'm hoping to, I do clean houses. I've been doing this since my kids were little. They're in their 20s now. So that's my security right now. So learning to transition from that security that I am so used to and that I love, making that leap, which is scary.
Jackie's like, yep.
But you can't, I just keep thinking in my head, you can't let fear keep you from opportunities and doing things that can bring you so much joy. And this has brought me a lot of joy, and it is a lot of work at times. Like, I will admit, being downstairs packaging 50 packages that I know I have from 2 sales and thinking, oh my God, I'm never going to get this done. But I do it and I get it done. And you feel so satisfied and you feel so happy when you do accomplish that. And when you know you're doing this, this is you creating this shop. This is you bringing these things to everybody and bringing them joy. It really makes a difference. And how I viewed myself and valued myself. And
that is a good point, Cathy. I'm really glad you're talking about this because, I've never really thought about it from that perspective. But I have a different confidence too that I never really felt like maybe I had before. And I can't quite explain it. It's kind of like finding your tribe, and then
it really is
your thing. Like I think anytime you do something with passion and true enthusiasm or whatever it is, it shines through. And I think that's why our community is so vibrant, is we are all just a bunch of crazies that love our vintage.
And everybody's so true and real and can just be themselves. There's no judgment in this community. There's no competition. No nastiness going on behind the scenes. Everybody truly loves selling with each other, loves supporting each other, and cares for each other. And that's something that is very precious to me.
I couldn't agree more. Yes, Cathy.
You can't always find that. And I feel very blessed and very happy to have found this community. And so my goal is, I don't know how long it's going to take me, but my goal is to transition from doing this cleaning business, which is totally killing my body. I'm getting older now. So, I have my husband and I talked, it's time to start weaning away from that and doing something else. And this is something that I love. If you follow my account, you'll know I love mid-century. I love kind of the mod style. I love switching up my house all the time. I'm always like switching things around, moving things around. And I love being able to share that with other people. And being able to go to the antique malls and the estate sales and all those things and hunting for that stuff. That is fun for me. That is something that I enjoy. And to know that you could do that and be earning a living on it. I mean, what else can you ask for,
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, John. Welcome, you guys. Thank you
John.
all for being here. Cathy's sharing her journey with us, and it's a really cool thing to hear too, that you're more of an introverted person, and this is
big time.
and that this has, given you that pivot. I think that we did that too, the pandemic pivot from shooting weddings, and same, but our bodies were tired, our knees hurt, David's back is done, and we had needed to pivot into something else. And so here we are doing what we love, and it has made all the difference, honestly, in my self-esteem and my attitude. So I'm glad we're kind of talking on a deeper level today, ladies, because I feel that in my soul.
Yeah.
I really do, Cathy. I get it.
Thank you. Yeah, I do too. And my husband even told me, he sees, this was last year, like, this is kind of a strange thing to bring up, but at Thanksgiving at my mom's, we always like go around the table and we like say what we're thankful for and all that stuff. But he was even very emotional, like talking about how, he has seen such a change and how I have grown so much from doing this, and that he was so proud of me. And that meant so much to me,
Yeah.
Because he knows I've been with my husband since I'm 14 years old, I think I'm gonna be 47 this year.
Yeah, we're right in there, Cathy. I'm 45.
But so he knows me. He knows I am not. This is like so far from what I would do, but for some reason, it just feels so natural to me with everybody here. It's just the welcoming and not feeling judged and doing what you love, and even our customers and viewers just being good people, kind, supportive, encouraging, all of that. It makes such a big difference when you're doing something,
Sure does. I really have to say, community wise, we have the best customers. Like, people get it and they understand it and they respect it and they understand shipping. And like, I am so grateful for the customers that we have.
Yes, I am too.
All right. So Lori and Jackie, welcome to the stage. Tell me, and you guys can either take turns or Lori, you go, Jackie, you, however you guys want to do it. But I want to hear, first of all, about the shop name, because that's important. Everybody needs to know where that originated from, and about you guys and your sales journey.
You can do the shop name.
Oh, the great mystery. We use this for trivia question a lot. First of all, thank you so much for having us. This is amazing. This is like one of those moments where we're like, really? We are so humbled by every part of this journey, and to be on a show like this now. I mean, who would have told us 2 years ago? We've been like, what? So it's so amazing. It's so cool. But 19 somethings, you guys, well, the big 19, you see 19 everywhere. And first, the obvious is, well, everything is about vintage and about, bringing the past into the new renewed life of the future and ahead of the game. And so everything we purchase, we look at is 19, although we do some 18s now. But 19 somethings. Most everything we purchase is 19 something. But then the big trivia question always is the deep, dark secret is, Lori is born in January, which is the first month of the year. She's also born on January 19th.
We are right there, girl. I'm 2 days before you. Yeah.
Now, I'm born in September, the 9th month of the year, on the 19th.
On the 19th.
So if you put 1919, we've got 19s all over the place. So that's what kind of put everything together is a special number for us. Yeah. And it makes for a great story.
It is.
I love
great.
that.
Awesome. I do too.
Now,
so how did this happen to you guys? Because I know Lori, I know on a personal level, Lori used to work in the wedding industry like we did. Mm-hmm. And Jackie, you work for the city, right?
I work for the city. Yes, I do.
So, how did this evolve for you guys?
Okay. So for me, I was eBay original started back in 94. And I had 2 different shops. One was vintage home decor and vintage toys. Another was clothing. And I did that for a very, very long time. It was, I was a housewife. I had 3 children, and that's what paid for my living and everything else, life, And then I moved back to Houston, and I started my event photography business, and I did that until now. But then pandemic started.
Oh, girl.
And my industry really went down. It just fell apart. And
Okay.
I did do occasional weddings here and there, but in the transition of pandemic, I realized you get very tired. It's a lot of hard work. And I really didn't, I got to thinking that I wasn't always going to be doing that.
Mhm.
And my body was not going to hold up eventually.
Right.
So I went back to this and I started doing this. And little by little, it grew bigger and bigger, a lot of support.
So did
And
you start then on Insta with lives, or did you guys start as a static shop?
I started in 5 minutes. I started 1 minute. I told Jackie, I want to go thrifting. I used to do thrifting a long time ago, and I want to start doing it again.
Yeah.
I went to Goodwill, and I think I spent about a good $75, $100. I went home and I started thinking, this all happened within 5 minutes. I said, I'm going to open up a shop on Instagram.
Nice.
I didn't know that Instagram community, vintage community existed. I just started. So one minute I walk in home, I put all my stuff in the stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, I went crazy. I bought too much. What am I going to do with all of this? I don't have space.
It's a good problem to have, that, right?
So I told Jackie, I'm going to go live. And she's like, okay. And we literally only had 3 people. It was our friends, our best friend,
My mom.
and her mom. And
Mom was there rooting you on, girl. Yes.
Yes. And
Thanks,
that's,
Mom.
I mean, all that happened within one day. So one day we opened up the shop. One day we did our first live. That very first live is still saved in our feed. It's the only one that I save now.
That's cute. Yeah.
And little by little, we just did that. I know Jackie works within the community here in Houston, Texas, and in many other places. So we're that type of shop that we love contributing and giving to others a lot. Along the way, certain things haven't worked because of the way other shops run their own personal shops, and
Sure.
we don't like the drama or anything like that. So we kind of stray away from those. But we love helping the community, and we're loud, we're obnoxious sometimes, but that's our spirit. It's all in good kind. And that's how we've grown. That's how we've become. And I think we have a really good thing coming. Jackie was literally on the phone before this. We're thinking of expanding and opening a shop now.
Oh
We
my
also got
gosh.
contacted by some local vintage shops, a very, really well-known vintage shop,
Wow.
for us to
Basically,
mention them and go
live.
from their
stores
shops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I guess it's because since we started doing the live pick with us, and now they're like, can you please come shop at our shops? We will pay you to do the tags and mentions and all that. Okay. I mean, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty dang exciting. So you're heading into maybe some brick and mortar territory. Is it going to be like a booth within a space?
No, our own shop.
Your own
Oh,
shop?
that's so exciting. Congratulations, guys.
That's
Thank
On
you.
that. That's an amazing step. And I just want to tell you too, you guys are like a shining light in this community. I so love watching you guys. You make me smile every time I see you two. So
Well,
thank
and
you
that-
for bringing that.
I
Thank you for bringing that to
into-
us.
and I feel the same way, Cathy. I stumbled into one of their lives a long time ago, and I was like,
And you're like,
Stumbled.
I have got to know these women because they are just as goofy as I am.
Yes.
Like, I really loved and enjoyed just popping in your lives, and y'all were always being silly. And then we started selling together. And just so you guys know too, Jackie and Lori started their own group for new people that were wanting to sell on Insta, and really were pillars and mentors themselves to many, many people in our community. So I thank you guys for that, because my heart, I enjoy helping people as well. And I want to spread the love. And you guys have definitely been right there alongside us. You know what I mean? And then integrating into ISN. And now we're all a big little happy family. And it's just wonderful. So good energy, ladies.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good stuff. All right, Emily, I want to hear all about you, girl, because I don't know. You're a mystery to me, Emily. I want to know all the things, and I know you've got some history, I believe, in your family, right? Of
Mhm.
and where all that started. So I want to hear your journey and where we're going from here. And real quick, Cheryl asked Lori and Jackie, where are you in Houston? She's in Southwest.
We're in what is this known for? East Side?
Yeah, the greater
East
East
Greater
End,
East End.
second ward.
Nice. Okay. There you go, Sherry. Yep. And we will answer question B. I saw your question earlier and we will get to it. But we're going to have everybody tell about themselves and then we'll tackle questions. So Emily, go ahead, girly.
Okay, and I am on vacation right now, so
Ooh,
this
nice.
is like a little makeshift setup.
Yeah, no worries, girl. I appreciate you being here from the road. Thank you.
Yes. So I apologize if there's like background noise and everything. We are in the hotel room. So I started my shop because I stumbled upon the community as a buyer, and I was watching and buying from a whole bunch of different sellers. That's kind of what made me start another collection. As you said, my parents have always done this also, and they actually still do it with my nephew who they're raising. They love going antiquing, and one of the things that they did when we were growing up is they gave us something to collect so that we would have something to do when going into these stores. So yes, I grew up collecting like the really old creamers, and then my sister grew up collecting the thimbles, and my dad actually made me a cabinet. He like refurbished a piece of like this cabinet into this beautiful piece, and that's where we put all of my creamers. So I still have that. He took pictures of the before and after.
Aww.
And their house is beautiful, and it's got so many antiques in it. They are Fenton collectors themselves, so they have the Fenton Christmas trees, the Fenton Santas, snowmen. So yes, I love their house at Christmas. It is so amazing. So when I stumbled on the community, I was like, oh, I was like watching Alive every single night. Like that was my like TV time. I was watching all these lives. And so I got to know some people, and, just like I said, as the buyer. And so I decided to go ahead and I reached out to Randy from Randy's Relics, and she really helped me like navigate getting through. And I kind of did the same thing as Lori and Jackie, and I did everything in one day. I opened up my Instagram, posted all of my things, and went live that night with Randy.
Wow.
That is so awesome. And I love hearing that so many of our members have been mentors to others too, between Allison with Cathy and Randy helping you, Emily. Like, I love that. That makes me so happy. That's what this is about. Go ahead. Okay.
Yes, no. So I was really trying to think of a shop name that meant something. And so it's actually pronounced Ashling because it's Irish, but, Americanized, it's pronounced Aisling. And
I apologize. I mispronounced you, girl.
No, you're fine. I just let it go because it's really weird to say Ashling. So. Yes, I did share with John pictures of my family's Christmas. And I means dream. And so I kind of took that. And so that's what that means. It's like dream thrifting. Like this is, a dream of all of ours.
That's neat.
And the song came into my head, come dream a little dream with me.
Nice.
So that's kind of like what I put in my bio. So that's where that came from. And my water bottles, y'all, so you're sipping back. And so I am actually a full-time caseworker in the child welfare field. So that is my full-time job. I'm also a full-time master's student getting my master's in human services administration, and I will be done in 3 months. I'm at the end. And then I am a mom of 2 special needs boys. I have one who is autistic and nonverbal, and then one that I adopted who has behavioral and mental health. So
you have my friend. Yeah.
I opened the shop as like a supplemental thing. And again, I love the community, and with people, and
Yeah.
and communicating, interacting. Like, I absolutely love going live and interacting with the other seller and all of the buyers. And so it's been a lot of fun. And then my son, my oldest, my 13-year-old, I actually brought him on, and he helps me with the shipping process. And I give, like, that's how he earns money to spend on his games or whatever.
That's so
So
That
awesome.
works.
yeah,
Love
so
that.
we
Come to
sit
work.
down at the
We come
down
to
at
the
the table
knees.
together.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, Laura, what'd you say?
And I said, I'm thankful for my knees.
Yeah.
Yes.
Her niece comes in
Shipping
and
help
helps out.
whatsoever. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree. Stephanie said you're firing on all cylinders. So inspiring.
Yeah, definitely a Wonder Woman.
So you started into the
Mhm.
community just kind of as a buyer, and then you were like, hey, I've got the eye, I can do this.
Yes, and that's one of the things I don't if you're familiar with my lives, I call them Emily Originals. I love going into a thrift store and saving pieces that don't have a match, and then I put them together and make a one of a kind piece.
I have seen that.
And yes, I've done that with a few fairy lamps. I've done a butter dish. And so I love going in there, and it's so fun for me to find one piece and then hunt through the store for a piece that fits perfectly to make a match. And so that's one of the things that I've started doing, and I love that. And then I just started doing jewelry this month.
Oh,
And
how's that going?
I love jewelry. So it is so fun for me to go sifting through all the jewelry.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, jewelry is its own thing. And I will say what's fun about the jewelry is the shipping because it's so little.
Yeah.
you know? Love
Yes,
that.
I needed some help on that front, because now that I'm getting towards the end of my degree, I'm going to have to write my thesis soon. And so I needed something that was easier on that end aspect for me for my business, because obviously I didn't want to just stop. So I decided to make a shift for a little bit. And then, I still do some hard goods, but that was really to help with this, because I'm in an accelerated program. So we do an entire semester in 6 weeks.
Mhm.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's hardcore. Yeah. Bless your heart.
Yeah.
I am amazed with all of that going on that you do have time to do this and do it so well. So that's amazing. Very inspiring for a lot of people.
Mhm.
Because I think we're all in these different places, right? We're either doing this full time, we're doing it as a side gig, or we're just starting. And I started too with this as my side thing, and then here we are post pandemic that this is now my main thing. And I'd never in a million years thought that I would have my face on a camera, that that any of that would be happening. I was the same way, Cathy. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
no, that's not for me.
Yeah.
So for me it was, and I am extroverted. Like, I love to be silly, but I also have like a very introverted side too, where I don't know if I want to put myself out there like that. So just doing it to everybody that's ever gone live and sold, kudos on your bravery, because it does take a certain amount of, guts just to do it and jump in. Like Emily and Lori and Jackie did their first live the first day they set up their Insta account and just came in, and all cylinders firing. And that is very inspiring to me, because I was more like,
Definitely inspiring.
I'm going to watch other people first and we'll see. So very cool. Very cool. So as far as, what we are talking about, I know, a lot of us are in the journey into trying to pivot from the regular job that has been your 9 to 5 per se for years into this. Now, Emily, I know you're getting a master's degree and you're probably going on to pursue more, but do you think you'll keep the vintage around? Do you think you'll keep doing this?
Oh yeah, like I said, I love the interaction on the lives, and I've met some wonderful people, as Cathy said, through this community. I'm actually we are going to Louisville, and I'm going to get to meet Patty with Circular Vintage in person. We are going to go.
nice.
Yeah,
fun.
we're gonna go have lunch together and go thrifting. And I've met some other really good friends through this community, and we've met in person and gone thrifting together. So I don't see that stopping, even with, moving forward in my career.
Good for you. That's awesome. Yeah, I love Patty. I actually have a sale with her Thursday, so I'm really excited about it. And she has the most beautiful eye and home and all of that. Oh my gosh. All of you guys are just decorating icon mavens. Like all of you have amazing taste. And Cathy, I want you to talk a little bit. First of all, well, okay, hold on, back up. We've got so many things to talk about. First of all, we want to answer a quick question that had come in, and I think it's a good one. And it will spark some conversation kind of where we want to go. How do you make choices about what you buy and develop your specific style and voice? I think especially when you're new, that is a great question. I want everybody to go around. What about you, Cathy?
Well, I first started with like my love for vintage Christmas. And
Yeah.
that's what it started with for me. And I do love everything, like I said, mid-century and like the mod type of style. So when I'm looking at something, I kind of want to bring you what I love,
Right.
like my account kind of reflects the things that I enjoy. And I think my followers are people who enjoy seeing those type of things. So when I'm out thrifting, I always look at something like, is this something that I would love for my home, or that's something I'm excited to bring to you guys that I love? And I know a lot of people do it even differently. Like they will buy things or sell things in their lives that coordinate with whoever they're selling with. But for me, that's just not me. I just want to bring you like the things that I feel passionate about.
Yeah.
I feel like everything I'm showing you, I want to be excited about. I want you to be excited with me. And when you look at my page, I want you to see like, okay, when I go to one of Cathy's lives, I'm going to see these kind of things. These are the types of things she's going to bring. This is the style. I know her as bringing the mid-century mod. I know her as bringing the vintage Christmas goodies to me. Not saying that I don't love all the other stuff too, but I don't have the knowledge of it. Like,
And that's your niche. Yeah.
right. That's my thing. Like Marcy is the queen of kitschy stuff. I know it's like kitschy Christmas stuff, but if you ask me about like ceramic things and like planters, I don't know anything about that stuff. I mean, I love them, but I almost feel like if I bring this, it's not like who I am. Like I'm not being true to me. Like this is not like what I would bring. This is something for Marcy to bring to the audience,
Absolutely.
So that's how I choose. I choose if it's something that I love. And that's kind of like how I want people to view my page. So even when I show like pictures of my home, it's like, these are the things that I love. So if you love these type of items too, these are the things you're going to see that I'm going to try to bring to you in my sales.
Right. I like that. And I can appreciate it because I think that is what does make a good shop is people kind of know what to expect from you, and know what styles and era you're into and so on. And then, you bring that decorating style into what you sell, which is
Right.
your brand and who you are. So that's really smart. I like that. What about you guys, Larry and Jackie? How do you figure out what you want to buy? And then develop that
How you
into
go
where you
about it?
I just do whatever she tells me to do.
Okay. That's
You
good.
have your own style.
Exactly.
No, the reason, and you
Good answer. Good answer.
I'm staying in this relationship.
no, seriously.
All right. So Lori,
Lori?
then what is your method, girl?
I buy what I love.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel that people are gonna follow you for what you like because they will resemble that, either that style, those colors, or just for who you are. So definitely staying true to what you like and bring to that shop. That alone will bring your followers. I do want to say though, we did open Jackie's shop because she has a whole different vibe. So
Yeah.
talk about that.
Just David. That's why we did that too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Well,
Yep.
at Honky Tonk Vintage 19 is a subsidiary of 19 somethings because there are things that we do share that are really cool, but there are things that are like, she's like, no. So
I'm
it's you need your own place.
shot.
But it's finding your voice. But I have to tell you, don't be afraid to try something different too, because she was always like, I can't do kitsch. I have no idea what kitsch is. I just cannot grasp kitsch. I just
can't find it.
And you know what the thing is one of the things she did is she actually got things that were kitsch and went on with a few kitschy people. In fact, the queen of kitsch, one day that she went on and she did well. And has she specialized in it since? No, but you know what? She got a taste of it, and we've since then learned what kitsch is and appreciate it. And now we go, we get it. We still do ourselves, but we get it. And it's
because
cool.
It's an ever evolving. For me, especially, I was the same as Cathy when I was part-time. I was like, I am kitsch. I am 50s kitsch. This is my thing. And I will tell you, that is my favorite thing. Like, if you know me, I love all the dorky stuff with eyelashes. That is my jam. Give it to me all day long. But in turning into a full-time reseller, I have branched out and I have learned about a little bit of everything. I'm really into vintage art right now. I obviously still know my things about kitsch, and I still enjoy selling it and finding it and whatever, but I'm learning about glass. I'm learning about mid-century designers that worked for the glass companies and what they did and what they created, because my era that I really like, kind of like Cathy, is the mid-century time. So what I'm trying to do is kind of branch out and do more of a era of sorts and do a little bit of everything, a jack of all trades, so I can go live with dang near anybody and have something in my inventory that will fit. Now, me as a seller, when I'm just doing a sale and it's David and I or one of my besties, it's probably going to be all kitsch, but branching out into YouTube like we've done, that audience, I feel like also is really into glass and art and textile art and different things that you might not necessarily pick up all the time. And so we did the same thing with David, where he started his own shop because he has a particular eye that I don't have. I have an eye that he doesn't have, and we pick what we like, and then he's able to kind of focus on the mantiques and the barware and all that kind of thing. And then I pick up with the kitsch and the colorful funsies. So together, we kind of cover it all. And maybe that is the wrong approach, but I feel like full-time reselling, I need to have inventory to please all the people. So that's my particular strategy. What about you, Emily? How do you figure out what you want to do as far as sourcing and bringing all of that to the table?
So since I started out as a buyer watching all the lives, that's really where I absorbed and learned a lot of the information, so that when I went out into the store, I kind of knew already what I was looking for. And if I don't know it, I will literally sit down somewhere in the thrift store and look it up. So that I know what I'm doing before I just walk out of the thrift store. But again, it's something that speaks to me, and I like the broken pieces and putting them back together again to make a new thing. I have an eclectic style in my shop and kind of a little bit of everything. And that's, I like that. Even in my daily, my wall that is normally behind me has all sorts of different things, from different eras on it for my gallery wall. So
Emily, I have everything from 1930s through the 80s in my home, and I can't nail it down. And I think that's just because I do like a variety of weirdness. I can't nail it down to an era. I like it all. And that's problematic, and my house is reflective of my eclectic nature. You know what? Makes me happy, and that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Right.
Yes. And I think it appeals to more buyers than that way, because then there is something for everyone in the live. And so then it's not just the one thing. So that's one of the things that I like to do. I usually bring a variety, and I will do a live where we're focusing on maybe one thing. But normally I'm bringing in a variety. And my favorite thing now is to bring hard goods and jewelry.
Mhm.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
doing it, mix it up live.
Hmm. I think what's interesting to me too, that's your comment. She said, I really resonate with everything here. I feel like I used to buy everything I could profit from in my Etsy store, but I feel like I'm needing to switch strategies to specialization. And I think with Instagram, it is very niche specific. I think that you do need to project an image of who you are, what you like, what you sell. And what David and I have actually started focusing on too is quality. We talked about this a few weeks ago. I'm trying to not pick up those items that sell for 12 bucks. I'm trying to only pick up stuff that sells for 20 and over. And I know that sounds crazy, but David and I started doing littles, right? So we've sold miniatures, we've sold figurines and planners and, just all the little things for all these years. And that's been great. I mean, you can string a bunch of littles together, and if you're charging $9 a piece for miniatures, you'd be amazed how quickly that adds up, right? But for us doing this full time, we're trying to work smarter and not harder. So we're kind of eliminating some of the littles from our picking strategy and trying to focus on more items that are of quality. And we want to be known for people that bring quality stuff to every sales. And I think that's important too. To let people know I'm bringing the good and preview it as such.
I agree with you on that, Sarah, because I know at first it was very intimidating for me. Like I would pick up things that would speak to me, but I knew I can't put that on my live for like $12 or $18. I know what I've paid for it, and I struggled at the beginning. Sometimes I would put things on my live for like whatever I paid for it, just because I felt bad. I felt like, well, I feel bad to charge them more, but it wasn't working in the beginning. It was like, I'm not making any money off of it. And some things I even lost money on because I would watch other lives and I would see people selling things for super cheap. And I thought, no one's going to want to buy anything from me. But then I don't remember which show I was watching you guys on, but you were talking about like, don't devalue your items.
Yeah.
And that really like clicked with me. Like, you know what? If I am doing that, because you were saying, if you start selling your things for cheaper, you're devaluing that item. So stay true to what you know it's worth and the profit that you know you want to make off of it. And maybe it's not going to sell in that live, but the right person is going to find it. So that's what I've been trying to do, just bringing like quality, cool items, unusual finds and stuff to people. But I'm not saying anything against, selling the things that are like $10 or $12, but I'm kind of like you. I'm trying to transition it into being more of a full-time.
Yeah.
So when you're a one-man show trying to package like a bunch of things for $10, and pretty soon you've got like 50 items, and then you're doing choice on your turn for your lives, and you've got 2 or 3 shows in 1 week, and pretty soon you've got like 100 boxes, and you're like feeling overwhelmed, so it is about, the strategy, but also I feel like you said you're making a name for your shop.
Right.
And me and my daughter had this conversation because I was struggling with this really bad. And she's like, Mom, you need to keep it at what you want it to be. You're selling something that's unique, and you're developing your shop. You're branding yourself.
Yes,
so what do you want? What do you want to be known for? What is it that you want people to expect when they come to your page?
That's right.
So that's what I've been trying to do, staying true to that, bringing the things that I love, and always knowing that maybe sometimes people are going to say, well, her stuff is too expensive, or that's priced too high. I'm not paying for that. And that's okay. Maybe you aren't like a bigger collector of it, or you can't afford that kind of stuff. And that's okay.
Sure. And that's the thing. I think there's a place for everyone as far as buyers too, in those $12 items, like you said, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Especially when you're new. That's how I started. I mean, everything I had in my shop at one point was like $15 and under. And I really catered towards smalls because they were easy to ship when I was part-time. And that was what I liked. Again, get you little figurines and things, right? And now we've got huge, massive console bowls and swung vases. And, we're shipping. David is my shipping boss guru. And he's shipping all of this big stuff. And, the bubble wrap that goes into that costs money, and the tissue paper and all of that. And you have to think about that too in terms of your business. I actually just had this conversation with a client this morning that I was coaching, and you have to think about the fact that all of these little things that you do in your live sales, whether it's choice, whether it's 20 items you and your partner decide on, if you sell all 20 of those items, that's 20 boxes to ship.
Yep.
And the fun part is the selling. And the back end of the house is actually what's more important. If you don't get that stuff to your people in one shape, well, you don't have a customer base. You know what I mean? So you got to do a good job at what you're doing and allow yourself the time in your schedule to do it. And I know you guys, so Lori and Jackie, I wanted to touch on this because it's really been great. Marcy Vintage Bulldog, who is in our community, a lot of you guys know her. She started out doing some shop with me's where she would go out to the fleet, she would find things, people would pay a percentage or a buyer's premium plus shipping. Now, Lori and Jackie have adopted their own style of doing the shop with me's, and it looks like it's going really good, ladies. Tell me about how that is as far as volume and shipping and how it works. Explain to everybody what a shop with me is.
You go.
Well, let's go to school, boys and girls. All right, so shop with me. And again, I'm truly lucky because Lori has a killer shark business instinct. She also has great taste. She also has an eye. And I get to ride along. It's amazing. And the brains and the way this business is because of her. Yeah, and she's the 24/7. I'm the dewdrop in. I'm hoping to get closer by the end of this year, but really, seriously, it's her. So this shop with me is her brilliant thing of going, look, we're doing this and we're going to do this like this. And I'm like, okay, like I do everything else. And really it's an engaging opportunity because it's like, all right, let's not just go to our local shops. Let's travel. Let's take people to places that they have not been, that they have not seen. Maybe they haven't considered. Maybe it's down the street from them, but they've never stopped by. And what we're going to do this live shop with me. We're going to go through and hit it, engage them on not what we want them to see, but ask them what they want to see.
I like that.
Just let them push us through the whole shop experience.
That's fun.
We do a matching on whatever it is. So if it's $2, we make a $2 fee. So it's $4. If it's $200, she negotiates that in. She's the business one. And then of course, in between, it's a match 50-50. But I tell you what, we get a variety of different buyers. We are also building a fan base. There are people now that are coaching new people popping in as to what to do, how to do it. And we're having a blast.
So good.
It's a good time. And people are buying stuff and seeing places they've never seen before and turning around. We were in New York a couple of weeks ago. Thank you, all you guys that recommended Rosie's. We stopped by Rosie's Vintage up in Huntington, New York, and she, went off live. We did our thing.
We asked for permission.
We asked for permission first. Yeah, you never just go in and start. It's like you're always courteous. You always make introductions. You let people know what's going on. But after all the formalities are over and you get the green light. And this particular lady that's managing the shop, she's been there over 15 years. She was thrilled. And I mean, she was just like, wow. And after that, we had some of our buyers turn around and contact her on their own to buy things. Cool. And then some that live in New York that are now going over there to become customers. Because it's like there's enough for everybody. And and this is the cool part. It's like if we can help other people, and that's what the newbies came from too. Is like we were helped. We didn't get here on our own. So we owe it to others to keep helping them, and that includes other small businesses.
Absolutely. It will pay you forward. Because small business, as all of you guys know that have ever tried to do anything on your own, small business is not for the faint of heart. Like, this takes the self-discipline. It takes the time. My God, it takes time. And it takes kind of knowing your stuff. And for me, that was years of learning. I've been selling vintage now for 8 years. This is my 8th year. And I have learned, it's been like a little mini crash college course, you know what I mean? In and of itself, of learning all these different brands and different eras and what's what. And it has been fascinating, and through it, I've been able to develop my own style a little more. I still have such eclectic taste, I can't decide on an era, but I've learned, and that to me, being able to spread that knowledge to others, whether it's a live sale and they learned about a Jacob Bang piece of glass that I sold, or a static sale where I'm writing out a description and showing them a picture, and educating your buyer, I think, is so important, because that's how I learned. You know what I mean? Because I was the buyer. I started as a buyer too. So, Emily, this question that Glix Picks asked is definitely for you. When you transition from being a buyer to a seller, did you start a new page, or did you just continue using your original page?
No, I actually started a whole new page. And the cool thing about Instagram is you can like go to the settings and click switch account or add a new account, and you can see both of your accounts, your personal account and your shop account. So that's what I did. And I just made the shop account like a creator account. That way you can see like business trends. That's how you get like the fun music and stuff that you're allowed to use for reels and whatnot. So that's just how I did that. And I just kind of played around in the settings to figure that out when I opened up that new page. And I would just want to say one of the things that I do that is similar to a shop with me. Unfortunately, I am handicapped, and so I can't do a shop with me because I can't walk that long. I had a traumatic injury and it messed up my right foot. So I just don't have the physical ability to do that. But what I've done is I actually have done personal shopping. And so a buyer, they'll message me and they'll be like, hey, if you see one of these, let me know. And so I've actually gone into a local antique store and I'll take like pictures for them and I'll message them and they'll let me know. And I've done that for quite a few people and done more of like a personal shopping for them and got them things that they were looking for in that way.
That's so
a great
cool.
idea.
I love that, Emily. And then you kind of know, we do that too with some of our regular customers. Like, I'll have a piece when we'll be out picking and I'm like, I know Nancy's going to want this. I'm snagging it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And even if Nancy doesn't want it, someone else likely will, but I'm definitely, forethought of Nancy in my mind when I pick it. So it's a good strategy.
It's special also.
I will also
to gain that type of client. It's nice.
It is. It is. And to build trust and people know that you're going to find them what they're looking for. I've had people message me. It's so funny. I put it out there that I'm looking for that Left-In Bluebird butter dish like 17 times. I have people message me all the time. I found one. And I'm like, it's out of my price range. I'm trying to be cheap. I want this for under $100. But anytime you find one, message me, because
butter dish. Okay.
Yeah. Left-In Bluebird butter dish. But yeah, it's good when you know your customer base enough. And I think that's what we do have as such a cool benefit on Insta versus the other platforms, that it is more personal. You are having, a conversation basically when you get ready to invoice people. And I always have people say to me, I'm looking for this. If you find this, please let me know. And I do that. And I love it. It's a great way to go, Emily. Love that. Glix Picks, that was a good question too, because I do have coaching clients that will come to me starting brand new. And they're like, I've already got a personal account and there's 2,000 followers on it. Should I just start a new one? My advice usually is, if you do have that many followers, just change your name and change it over either to a creator account or a business account. And like Emily mentioned, the creator account and the business accounts do offer the good music. However, if you're a creator, automatically you're going to get to use copyrighted music. If you're a business, you actually have to set your account up under the category as entrepreneur to have copyrighted music. Okay. So if you're struggling along with your Instagram account and you're wanting to make reels and stuff and you cannot get the music, change your category. If you need help, hit me up. I'll help you. It's super easy. It's in your professional dashboard and you can do it just like that. Okay. I actually recently changed over to a creator account from a business account, but there's benefits of doing all of it. I just feel like visibility wise, there's a little bit more to offer as a creator, perhaps, than as a business. I think those posts get throttled a little bit more, but that's just my personal opinion. We can't prove it, but that's my personal
creator.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, quickly, I did want to touch on Lori and Jackie selling with your spouse, because I sell with David, Junk Drunk. Pros and cons, real quick. Come on, Lori.
There's a lot of good
and there's a lot of challenging
and a lot more good. Personally, I am all for it. We sometimes butt heads with certain things when it comes. Usually it's off camera when it comes to packaging and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But for the most part, when it is a live sale, we are a team. If I am selling, she is right next to me, doing the spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
Doing right as soon as we end a live sale, we already know what profit we've made, what everything's going to. Is just what everybody bought in order, alphabetical order, and everything.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
That's a good organizational system for sure. Yeah.
Whenever we do our duo lives, we've gotten a lot of messages about they want us together. They want us doing a live sale, not with quad sales and stuff like that, but when are you doing your own? Because that's how we started. We started just doing our Friday shows. I won't say the word, but it's what it was. Every Friday night at 10, 11 p.m. That's when we were live. And
they're so fun. If you want to just go crack up and be a goofball,
it's adult hour. Basically.
It's adult hour, definitely.
Yes. And we toned it down because we grew in followers, and occasionally we did get a buyer here and there that was like appalled at us or something.
Mainly me.
And
I'm usually the real breaker too, Jackie. I say dumb stuff.
The truth of the matter of that was that, you know what? We are who we are, and we're not going to change for others. This is what we bring.
Yeah.
They like our items. If they don't like us, I'm sorry. It's okay. I'd rather lose one follower than be who we are not. So
amen to that. Yeah. And you have to, guys, do that, because as Cathy and Emily and Lori and Jackie have mentioned, branding wise with Instagram, this is your brand. You are selling not only your vintage, right? People aren't going to show up without the vintage. They don't really care about this. However, it's a lot more fun to go to a sale where people are peppy and happy and educated about their items versus going to a sale where this is a shirt tails cup. It's $10. Like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, I've been to a few of those sales and I'm like, okay, like,
are you being held hostage and we don't know? Please signal us.
Right. And you know what? A lot of that, I know when I was new, I was a lot quieter. You know what I mean? So everybody starts somewhere. I'm not trying to ever discourage anybody. I don't mean it like that. But you know what I'm saying? You've popped into those live sales where you're like, oh God, this is so bad. So you want to try to yourself go into your live sale with energy, be present, talk to people in the comments. And I always say that to you, like, I enjoy entering someone's live sale when I pop in and say, hey ladies, or whatever, someone acknowledges me. Hey, Sarah, I like that. And because I like that, guess what? Other people like that. Yes. Your customers feel special when you acknowledge them, and we're all just humans, doing this thing. So it's kind of, again, part of that personal relationship is talking to people in the comments, answering their questions, getting people engaged in what you're doing. And I love it. I have people come to my sales that don't necessarily buy anything, but they come to hang out. Yeah. And you know what? I need their energy there to keep me going. So that's my whole thing too, is you don't have to buy a thing. Just come hang out and chat with us. And it keeps the energy flowing, and it's nice. And I think we all can appreciate and attest to that.
Absolutely.
100%.
It's so nice at the end of a live when you see in the comments, I had so much fun tonight. Like, thank you, ladies. Like, that
Yeah.
is so fun. And I'll often forget that I'm even on camera and I am just me, as if you were sitting across from me in person. Like, that's what you're going to get. Like, I'm a total, goofball. And, I have blonde moments and I've had them on camera. And now they've just become those like inside stories. If you were a part of that live, you know what we're talking about. Like,
Exactly. And, incorporate, I think my favorite lives with the personality that I have. Obviously, I'm there for the vintage. I want to see the good stuff. So, curating your sale to be able to bring, if you're with a quad sale and you're each bringing 10 items, bring your 10 best, man. Blow it out. Show people what you're about. Show them what you got and put your personality into the sale. Because that at the end of the day is why people will come back to watch you.
Yep.
Is they want to joke around with you. They want to be cool with you. And I've made so many friends from just people that come to my live sales they don't necessarily buy something every time.
Yep.
They don't care, but they're my friends. They show up and they have my back and they make fun comments and they get me and they laugh at my dorky jokes and they like belligerent Cupid. I don't know why anyone would like that little jerk, but so you know what I mean? And again, I am silly. So I like to let people know I make figurines talk. And whatever is your thing, guys, whether it is being uber educated on your items and being the expert guru like Cathy with like mid-century amazingness, or cutting up and just being silly, whatever it is that makes you tick as a vintage seller, think about what you would like to see as a buyer. That's always a good thing to empathize with your buyer and think, if I was watching this live sale, what would I want to see? I would want to see these people keep it moving. That's the other thing I was talking about with a friend of mine recently. When you go to the live sale and maybe somebody's not selling their Fire King mushroom cup or whatever, right? And so they keep showing it and they keep showing it and they keep talking about it, hoping for a bid. And that is great. However, I'm like, let's keep it moving. I want, if there's not a bid now, maybe there'll be one in the recap. Let's go to the next time. Because
That's how I get with some of my items. And I feel like, am I rushing it? But I get nervous. Like if I don't see any comments or anything going on, then I'm just kind of like dead silence. I'm like, I don't want that dead silence. I'm like, okay, I don't see any interest. So let's just move, keep it going. Is that a good thing to do? Or should you be talking about it for like a certain amount of time, do you think? Before you move on.
I can tell you as a buyer, when I'm at a live sale, I like to see the items take no more than 5 minutes, a piece, and keep a good pace because that keeps me watching. If it's the same item that someone's showing, like let's say you're a glass person, but you're at a quad sale and the last 3 people have shown linens or something, right? And you're like, oh my God, it's taken them an hour to show 3 items of linens, which I'm not even interested in. I'm probably going to log out and go watch somebody else, right? Because it's just not my jam. So I think keeping it moving and keeping that pace is important. What the pace is to me definitely varies per sale too, because sometimes you'll have bids coming in and you need to keep talking and you need to keep it going. You know what I mean? So, I try to gauge it by how interested people are in the item. But if it's just crickets, I like to keep moving. Yeah.
Okay.
Technically,
Sarah.
Everybody's different. You know what I mean? On what works for you. John said, I get that it's tough for sellers, especially with a lag. Try to comment, even if I'm not the right buyer for that item. And John, we appreciate that so much.
We do appreciate it so much.
Sales, and he's a sweetheart and always is so positive and encouraging and funny. And it's good energy, John. We appreciate you being there. Yes, belligerent Cupid is a little stinker, Jonathan, and he lives in Fish Jar, and he is my shop mascot. If you don't have a shop mascot, get one. If you don't want one, I get it. But it's just part of my goofy brand, and I'm actually working with Tyler right now, making some merch, and there may be
oh my gosh,
belligerent Cupid t-shirts and tote bags coming. I'm just saying.
Awesome.
Oh, how cute. I can't wait for that.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, that's why we're here, is because it takes a village to do this. This is not an easy business. we were laughing and we were talking, backstage before this started on, you'll have that friend that's like, oh my gosh, that seems like such fun what you do. And you get to go pick all the time and then you sell your things. And you know what, you guys, it is. I'm not going to lie to you. It is fun. I love it. We have a good time. However, this is real work. It's real work. It's time consuming and it is a schedule and a calendar to keep, and it is real work. And I'm sure Emily, who's running in 4,000 directions, can attest, when you're finding that shipping day to do your thing.
Yeah.
It is real work. Yeah, absolutely. Jonathan said, I'm the same way. I try to chit chat even on items I'm not interested in just to keep things moving and lively. I do too. When I go to somebody's sale, I'm always trying to either make a silly comment or a positive comment one way or the other. Stephanie said, I hate leaving a sale before it's over. It feels like ditching a party early. So I really appreciate it.
I like that.
Amen to that, Steph. Yes. Yeah. Amen to that.
Yes. And it is oh, sorry, Sarah. I was going to say,
you're fine. Go ahead.
It definitely is work. There have been days where like I may have to do shipping on a weekday. And so I have literally, worked my entire day, which child welfare in itself is not an easy job. And then I'll come home and I will go straight into shipping and I'll ship for, 6 hours of my night. And that was my entire day. And now it's like, okay, now I got to get the boys to bed and go to bed myself.
And start over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a full-time commitment, you could say, I guess. And it is a commitment between you and your buyers, getting your stuff out in a timely manner too. Once they've paid, I want to have that package out of my hair within, 5 business days for me. That's my personal goal. And it works pretty well because we have a set shipping day. And there's 2 of us. So that is helpful too. But when you're on your own, use a calendar and plug in your times, because Emily can attest that does work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So B asked a good question. Cathy, she says, what are your stockpiles you keep for sales? Do you have a certain amount that you're holding for sales? How do you guys keep track of your inventory, and what does it look like on the back end of things for your inventory room, guys?
I do not have a huge stockpile of stuff, except for vintage Christmas, because I was a huge vintage Christmas collector before I started selling. So I have a ton of that. But I've been trying to pick up things here and there. So I may have maybe 20 items downstairs that I can go through. But you know what? Usually when I have a sale that I know is coming up, I know I need to go look for some things to go with it, because I don't want to keep bringing the exact same things over and over and over until, like to every sale. But honestly, I just don't have room right now for a big stockpile. So that's a good question I wanted to ask you, Sarah. So you and David, what do you guys do? Because you said you don't have a lot of room, and now you have 2 people in your house that are resellers.
Freaking nuts, you guys. So in the garage, we have some storage shelves, and that's where we keep the inventory. But our biggest problem out of everything that we do is keeping inventory. The picking here in Colorado Springs is very competitive. I mean, if you don't exit the thrift store right in the morning, stuff's pretty much picked dry by the afternoon. So you have to really kind of be on it to get the inventory to put on the shelves.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is the biggest struggle for us, is keeping the inventory, because I can have a sale, sell 18 items, and then those are out the door. And then I've got to replace those 18 items, because guess what? I get another sale next week that I need 18 items.
Constant worry.
Yeah.
It is.
That's exactly how I am.
Replenishing. How do you guys tackle that as far as like percent of what you spend on vintage versus what comes in? Do you have a set budget? I don't. I probably should, but I don't. I don't either.
I don't either, and I probably should. I mean, that's one thing that I struggle with, is that is there an amount of what my profit is that I should be setting aside so that I can use? But I just go and just buy the stuff, and then I sell it, and then I'm like, okay, well, I made profit on it, so then it's kind of almost like a revolving door.
Yeah.
A lot of the times,
Well, I tell you, the game changer over here has been with these live sales, and it's 1 for 1. We don't leave the store without things being prepaid, and we let people know that. So we don't have that, at least at that end. We took a lot of the guesswork out of it.
Yeah. I love that we don't have that leftover inventory.
And we haven't overspent, and now we're
But
trying
for-
to scramble and
But for
find
our
how to
live
make it
sales,
up.
we do have
Yeah.
a storage unit.
Yeah.
So you guys with the shop with me's have people prepay for their stuff?
Mhm. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. We
Yeah.
ask that they must
Yeah,
pay.
we
immediately
don't
and
leave
just
the
have
store.
shipping pending. We
I
ask
love
that
that.
they must
Yeah, that's a
Like,
great idea.
before
really
we even leave the
smart.
store. Yes.
We got burned one time. That was enough.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
a small item. And we sold it for like 4 times more.
We sold it later for more, but I mean, it's just the
Yeah.
point. But yeah, we've had to get a storage room, which is kind of what's pushing us towards brick and mortar, because we're looking at the cost of the storage room now. And if we just kind of tweak a little more here and there and add to what we're paying on the storage room, we could
You're there.
actually have something that builds.
And
So,
it's
Yeah.
a
And that,
free, and it's really low price. I'm like,
yeah,
I used to have a
store-
studio, a storefront for my studio and wedding company, and it's like, I need to take advantage of it. It's like I'm just
Yeah.
gonna do it.
well, Lori, that was, when we were in the wedding industry also, we didn't have a storefront and we would meet people at Starbucks or whatever
Mhm.
to meet with our wedding clients, or we would Skype. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it was always easy and we didn't really need that overhead. And we've looked into having a booth a couple times because Cathy, like we were talking, no room for inventory, right? I'm
Mhm.
thinking, well, I could, keep stuff at a booth at so-and-so, but I know myself, I will not want to go and drive to my booth space to go fluff my stuff twice a week and pay rent on it and breaking even. And like around here, booth rent's like $270. So I'm like, I don't want to have to spend $300 up front and break even on good vintage that I could just do with no overhead.
Yeah.
Right.
So we decided on not doing that. But again, in the future, if things keep going the way they are, I would eventually love to have my own flea market. So, you
Ooh.
never know where life.
Yeah, you don't know. Hey, shoot for the stars always.
We've talked about it, and I think for us, if we could just have a dedicated workspace that wasn't our stove, that would be cool. You know what I mean?
Totally
Yeah.
understand that.
Stove,
Totally
that'd
get
be
that.
amazing.
As I
Yep.
slowly look behind the computer here, and boxes are like everywhere.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
my living room, my
Yeah.
living area. That's all it is it's like
You too,
I've
Emily?
taken it over. It's shipping.
Yeah.
Like I told Sarah, that is the UPS office downstairs. Everybody jokes about that. And they're like, welcome to the UPS office down here. And if I get it cleaned up, it's like a miracle, but I don't stay that way for very long. It's like, once I have another sale, here we go again. But
Exactly. It goes out, it comes in. I
Right.
always describe it around here like a little vintage tornado because I'll have it for 3 days, I sell it, it's out.
yeah,
And it just blows my mind. I told David too, I'm like, and I don't really believe in haunted items, but if we ever had some, they've been through this house because the sheer volume of what we've turned around in the last 8 years, I'm like, there's some weirdness up in here. I just feel it.
And that's what I'm looking. That's what I'm really looking forward to, being able to have a storefront where I know some booths. And Sarah, I was listening right now. You said it was like $270 for a booth.
Yeah.
The place that we're trying to get is around $500, all bills paid.
Total.
I'm like, across the street there. I mean, that's nothing for me. You
Yeah,
just have to
That's
do
for your
one
own
live sale.
shop.
And
Yeah, that's for
Yeah.
our own shop.
so
That's so good, you
I'm
guys.
not gonna volunteer at a booth or anything like that. But I really like the idea of being able to go in there, go do a live sale from there, sell,
Yeah.
lock the door, and leave it there.
So
Yeah.
we can
Because-
have a home
So
again.
yeah.
yeah.
I can't
Yes.
imagine. David and I all the time dream about that, you guys. Same thing, because like right now, there's vintage to my left, there's vintage to my right. There's just
And we're,
stuff.
and we're entertainers, so we were the people that we were never at home, and when we were home, we were
We
having
had
parties. People were coming all the time, and since the pandemic, we haven't even had a housewarming here.
This
And
this
it's
is like
this is
transition
not
house.
us. It's like we need to find a space for
Get
that.
it.
Get it out of the house. Yeah.
Get it out of the house. But then I keep thinking, but isn't that the beauty of what we do? Getting up in my pajamas and being able to go ship some stuff, right?
Well, that's
Yeah.
why this
I've
place
got
is
to go to a
across the
separate
street.
space, and it's a job. So I'm like caught in between the whole limbo of like work from home, have a separate space, don't want to spend the money on the separate space because I'm cheap. Like it's a whole thing, and I know it will work out eventually and evolve into something. I'm just not sure what?
You know what,
You'll
Sarah?
do
Sarah,
it, girl. You'll do it.
that's part of the beautiful part, though. There's no right or wrong here. It's what makes sense for you.
Right.
And
Yeah,
that's the
and what
whole thing.
works, yeah.
Each of us is like, what works for us? And that's the thing. Everyone in this community has their own special little existence and the way to do things and what
Right.
makes sense for them. And there's no right or wrong. Leave right or wrong alone.
Yeah.
Because we beat ourselves up with, I don't
Yeah.
want to make a mistake. And I
Yeah.
know that's for me. That's my thing.
We
Because I
learn
don't want to
from
make a
mistakes, yeah.
mistake. And I've held myself back so many times because of it. So stop.
That's exactly the way I've been. That's why
Good advice.
I have tried like to not let fear hold me back anymore, because it has. I'm with you. It has held me back in so many things.
Me too.
And
Now that I think about it, my entire life, honestly.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to take the jump and the risk and the leap. I know, when we moved our photography business from Missouri to Colorado, it was a whole year of transition. And I'm not going to lie, it was the worst. We were constantly traveling back and forth, shooting weddings in Missouri and Colorado, and the travel and everything wore us out. But I will tell you, making that decision to move here, and then, here we are post-pandemic and I'm selling vintage here. I am so grateful for making that decision. And sometimes you have to take that risk.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to take that leap. And if you're thinking about opening an Instagram shop, pull an Emily, you guys. Open your account. Go live. Show
Just
people what
do
you
it.
got. I mean, it's not a bad thing to put yourself out there and show people that you know your stuff, you know what you're doing, you know what you're buying. And, it takes time, though. This is not overnight. So anybody thinking, oh, I can just jump in and I'm going to have all these sales, and no, it takes time. It takes having a live sale where only a couple things sold out of 10.
Yes.
We all had those sales, and we all had oh, well, I've got 14 watchers, we'll hang in there. We've all been there. So if you're new and you're starting out and you're feeling discouraged, just know every single one of us started with 0 followers.
right.
And 0 people that knew us, and here we are. So best advice from me is network with the community, get to know people, and watch a live sale. If you want to do a live sale, you got to watch them and know how they work, and then tailor it. You may find something in Emily's sale that you like, and Cathy may have a style that you enjoy, and Jackie and Lori may be doing something that you like with a shop with me, and you tailor it to what works for you. Kind of like what they said, there's not a wrong or right way. There's a way things can work more easily for you, with the Instagram algorithm, but it really takes just jumping in and doing it, right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and the other thing for starting out too, what I've noticed is you really have to be okay with any, opening up any entrepreneurship and putting that money into your business first before you may start to see that return, because nobody just comes up with all the inventory that's shown. We all have to go out and buy that and put that money out. And then there are times where, like you just said, you've only sold 2 items, and now
Yep.
that money that you put into that inventory, you haven't gotten your return yet. And so you really have to be okay with doing that and understanding that it will grow, and you will get to a point where you have the inventory that you can rotate through, and you have a bigger selection, because that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm still trying to build my inventory, and so a lot of times I have to go like sourcing for another live, because otherwise I am just showing the same thing over and over again. And so that's been the most difficult part for me, and I don't have very much storage space either, so I've had to put some of my stuff, like wrap it up and put it in totes and like put it in the garage, and I'm like, I'm just
Hey,
gonna
Emily.
leave that there, and I'm gonna bring that out like again later in the year, and then it won't be so fresh of inventory. And so that's kind of what I've done. Otherwise, I showed John a picture. My living room looks like Hoarders or something, because it's filled with like sold items, inventory,
Oh my God,
boxes.
girl, I know. That's my kitchen right now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. And it is a good point, in making your space, maybe, we've thought about moving into one of the upstairs bedrooms and getting rid of one of the guest rooms just so we can have some space. So maybe that's something to think about. But whatever you do, don't let it take over your house, because it will.
Yeah.
Think about it. Will, the bigger you get, the more time you spend doing this, we can all attest to that.
Yeah.
It will take over your home. So get yourself some storage shelves or something, and have a dedicated area to at least keep your vintage. That's what I'm doing. That's the only way I function, is being able to keep my new stuff out in the garage, and the stuff that's sold directly goes into my kitchen, which sounds crazy, but that's where it gets shipped from. And yeah, that's my system as of now.
I agree with you, Sarah. I have the same thing. Like everything stays in my family room and like our little storage area downstairs, like all my shipping stuff. I don't like last night I was packing stuff up. I'm up till 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I am so tired, but I'm like, no, you need to clean this up.
Get
I
it
keep
out.
everything organized for shipping, and it all gets put away. All of everything's organized in that area, and I do not let anything like trickle around the rest of the house, because I was doing that at Christmas time, because I will admit I was completely overwhelmed. I was selling so much vintage Christmas. It was every room in my house had piles from each sale all over the place, and it was ridiculous. So yeah, it is about just organizing, not taking on more than you can. Like for me in the beginning, I took on more than I could when it came to the vintage Christmas, because it was selling like hotcakes. And most of the stuff I was selling, I was making 100% profit on, because it was the things that I already had
Sure.
in my storage. So for me, transitioning from the Christmas to mid-century and other things, it's different for me, because it is not all 100% profit. So now I have to think in my mind, okay, how much can I spend on this to where I'm actually going to make money on it?
Mm-hmm.
And like Sarah said, you have to add in the fact that of your time and everything else. You know, is it worth all of this? And it is a commitment, guys. But
It is.
if you're patient with yourself and know that we all are making mistakes along the way, and none of us have all the answers.
Nope.
And just like Sarah said, do not give up. If you like after Christmas, I was almost ready to just throw in the towel, because I was literally like ready to start crying. Like, this is way too much. I cannot do this by myself anymore.
I was depleted after Christmas too, Cathy.
Yeah.
I really was. I totally overextended myself in 2021, and I didn't have a free moment for anything, and it was making me crazy. I'm doing so much better this year with my time management, and I've really had to stick to a hardcore calendar, and I've had to say no, and I hate that. People are like, will you go live? And I'm like, I'm booked out till August. I can't. You know, and I hate telling people that, but that's just the reality of where I am as a full-timer, you know. And so then I'll open my books back up, and I'll be able to book with some people for the rest of the year. But I get it. It is a commitment. It is a lot. Antiques from Karen Janet said, I'm new to all of you. Are you selling on Instagram only? So Janet, I know all of us started as Insta sellers. I have now branched out over here to YouTube. So I have a weekly sale with Amy's Rock and Pop Shop. And then I have a weekly sale with the Cult of Vintage on his channel, and Thrifter Junker Vintage Hunter and my husband. So I have 2 weekly YouTube sales that I do, and I'm doing 1 weekly Instagram sale. And that seems to having set sales days too has changed my life, because before it was just willy-nilly Monday, Friday, whenever. I could not do that. It was making me crazy. So now I'm like a set sales day Sunday, a set sales day Wednesday, and a set sales day Thursday. Those are my sales days. I always know. And it's worked out so much better for me. And I also think the Instagram algorithm likes it too. Some consistency on days of the week. So that's my personal strategy. And Janet, I felt like I did want to have another outlet to sell. And I started branching out into YouTube last year by selling with some mentors and friends of mine here on the tube. And it is good to have another platform, guys, whether it's Etsy or eBay or Mercari or wherever you're comfy. And of course, YouTube's available, and it is a lot of fun. I love the buyers here, and the sellers, just a really cool community over here too. Roberta just asked a good question. How do you pair up with other shops for live sales? Do you arrange it, or is there another way? So when we get started, you know, I obviously didn't know a lot of people in the community, and I was just going live with basically who my friends were. And then once it kind of took off, then I started getting to know other people and branching out, and then DMing people if they wanted to go live with me. In our live sales group on Facebook, Roberta, also, we have a thread that is posted. So if you are newer and you're looking for people to go live with, you can find people in that thread that are also new. They're looking to go live. And that's a great way to pair up and meet people and just network there in our Facebook group. So that's kind of how we do it. This is cute. I wish I could fly in like Mary Poppins and help all the ISN sellers with their
Oh,
No.
so sweet.
buy you a plane
That's
ticket.
awesome.
And Atomic Redhead Mary said, does anyone else sell on eBay or any other platforms? How about you guys?
I do not. I just do the Instagram because, again, for me, I still have a full-time job and I'm a full-time student, so that would be way too much. So I just do Instagram.
We sell on Etsy occasionally. Whenever something doesn't sell on in the live sale, I immediately add a pricing to it, and I add it to the hashtag on Instagram so that people could go shop there. But then I also post it on Etsy just to open up, to other people.
Another place. Yeah. Another place for eyes. I like that. What about you, Cathy? Do you do anything else?
I have a Mercari account, but to be honest, since I've started doing stuff on Instagram, that account's kind of been stale. So, I mean, I probably could, but right now I'm just trying to focus on the Instagram right now.
And I think that's really smart when you start out, focus on whichever platform that you like Insta. And then you can kind of meander your way and figure out some other places that maybe you want to sell. And like I said, for myself, it's been YouTube. I enjoy the community over here, and the live sales are so much fun. So, definitely plug in where you can. And if you have questions about that, don't hesitate to hit me up too. So guys, we are at the part of our show where I want you guys to show me one thing that you found this week that's like your favorite. Okay. One thing that you picked that yourself or you're selling. And then I want you to go around. We're going to go around. What do you wish that you would have known when you were a new seller? Okay. And we will start with you, Cathy.
With me? I didn't pick anything for like my favorite thing that I found this week. I didn't know we were doing that. So, but I can show you something that is my favorite thing, which you probably did see on my, let me see if I can grab it, on my page. Because this is still my favorite thing, which is the
girl. Look, this is
I love that.
This is still my favorite.
Cathy,
which I picked this and
what is it? What brand? What is this?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it. There's no markings on it. I've tried researching it. It was just labeled mid-century candle holder. And I saw it from afar and I grabbed my husband and I'm like, go get that. So we bought it and I had it downstairs and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. So I did a live sale. I think it was last weekend with Randy. She randomly asked me she needed someone to come in. So I was like, okay. And I'm like, I don't know if I have enough stuff to sell. And I'm like, you know what? I just got this. I don't really know what I'm going to do with this thing.
I was watching that sale and I couldn't believe it. And
I was like, well, what can I put in it? I'm looking everywhere for some kind of candles. And I'm like, well, let me see if these lucite candles will fit in there. And I'm like, ooh, these look good. So I filled it with the lucites. I was like, I don't know if anyone's going to like it or not. And then once I saw it with all the candles, I was like, oh,
I know.
So secretly.
Cathy posted a picture of this on her Instagram, you guys. By the way, which reminds me, every seller that is here, the links to their shops, where to find them, are in the description of this video. I have linked everybody. So please, while you're here, go follow Cathy, follow Emily, follow Jackie and Lori, and show some love, because those little follows, comments, likes, everything that you do that engages with us on Instagram helps us grow our shops in the algorithm. So every bit of love is so appreciated. Follow everybody in the description of the video. Go ahead.
Still me? Okay. What was the other half of our question?
What do you wish you would have known when you were a new shop?
I wish I would have known how much time and energy it takes to do what you guys do. Because just like how you're saying, when people come up to you and are like, oh, that looks so fun. That's what I thought. This looks so fun. I know it's going to be some work, but I wish I would have known how much work it takes to do all of the shipping. And really, everybody, kudos to every seller on here because it takes so much time and so much love goes into everything that all these shops do, from finding your vintage to even the invoicing, getting you good shipping, packing everything so that it gets to you
Yeah.
safely. So I wish I would have learned about the shipping part of it. Knowing how to get rates. Like at first I didn't know anything about pirate ship. I was taking things to the post office.
That's how I
So
started too, Cathy. And I
yeah,
lost.
so when I found pirates, yes, I was too. And I would feel bad that it was costing so much to ship. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to charge them this much for shipping because I feel so bad. But once I found pirate ship, that was a game changer for me. And
Totally.
then learning how to pack things the right way is so, so important.
Yes,
I mean,
it is.
I think there should be like a tutorial or something because so many people, I know that I've been seeing a lot of posts about people showing and being mad about their items being broken when they get them. And I understand that, but I don't believe that any seller is purposely shipping something knowing that it's going to get broken. They don't want that to happen to you. So I think just education on how to ship the right way would be so beneficial to everybody. Like,
Well,
I don't
that
know
would
how
be
it could happen, but if there was some way to have some kind of like a little tutorial or a little class or a little link that every new seller can hop onto.
I'm
So
going to
because
write
these
that
are
down.
beautiful pieces that maybe have been around for so long. And then it's a shame that it goes through the mail and a vase or anything that a beautiful treasure that's been around for 60, 70 years is now gone.
Yeah, I know. It
And-
is. It's so
And
sad.
that's something, yeah, I was going to say that's something that we would do, or we still do, with the newbie program. We help them with packaging. We do live videos with them whenever they need help with doing something like swung bases or something like that. We also help them reach out to other people in life sales, how to choose your collaborations wisely as well, because sometimes you don't vibe with somebody and you're really not going to make those sales either because some people are just not feeling that live sale. So
Right.
that's a part of. But I did want to show my favorite item. It wasn't this weekend, but it was last weekend. And for me specifically, I know Jackie has her own. Again, we're different vibes, but I don't have it anymore because I packaged it. It's in line to get shipping quoting. But it's this little mug. It's this way. So I'm actually gonna post it today.
Oh, I love that.
It's super sweet. And the reason I love it was because I always do like a 15-minute break where I go break down everything, all the payments and all that before the live sales end. And this specific client reached out to me and she told me that this was her mug when she was a baby. And now she's about anywhere between 60 and 70 years old. And that's how long ago she drank out of this mug. And she accidentally dropped it one day as an adult, broke the giraffe, was not fixable. And that's why I mean, going back to what you were talking about, Sarah, about the time. I mean, we've put away this past year, we grew. We grew so much, and thank God we're blessed. And we were not able to attend many family events, friends. Again, we're entertainers. We would always see our friends. We couldn't see our friends. And just us as a couple, we didn't have time for each other. So I said, you know what, this year we're gonna stick to weekends. And I know sometimes a lot of people don't watch on weekends occasionally, but we also didn't want to do a live. And I said, I want to do something different where we take the people and they get to choose what they want. And that's what was so special to me. I mean, I love choosing items. I love bringing what I love, but not everybody's gonna love my style. My style is atomic. My style is amber and green stuff. And when this got claimed and she told me that, I mean, it's something very special. It's what really keeps me going, and I love it and appreciate every single person that reaches out to me because of that. I've had people leave me voicemails crying because of what an item means to them. I've had grown men leave me messages about they lost certain things in hurricanes or earthquakes, and here we are finding them for them. I
Yeah.
never would have thought to have bought that mug,
Right.
yet
That
she
is the best feeling. When
Yeah.
and
somebody's like, grandma had this, or I had this, or so and so had it. I haven't seen it since I was 7. I get that. And I think we all get it because we all have some memories of when we were kids and the things that were special to us. And we know what that means to someone else because we're collectors too. We get it.
Yeah, yeah, and me specifically, I don't have my mother. My mother passed in childbirth with me, so I never had that. I didn't go through that thing about my mother would pick, my grandmother would have all these collections. I grew up very poor. I didn't have any of that, so I didn't start. Like I said, I started my thrifting and all that out of necessity, and it started through eBay. So now, when this happened, it was more of a, you know what, I'm going to do this because I love it.
Yeah.
And also pandemic, but more so because I loved it. What was your item?
Yeah.
My item, I like dark ladies. So this is a very beautiful dark lady.
Oh, dang, you guys. Is that Hager?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I thought so. That is beautiful.
She actually was waiting for us in New York, and we had a heck of a good time wrapping her up and getting her safely from LaGuardia Airport through security onto the plane and coming to Houston. And now she's going to a new home. She just got bought.
And 2 full briefcases of nothing but kits is what we brought.
Wow.
And I think
That is so fun. I can't wait to see what y'all got. That is so great.
that's part of what I think does it for me and our side. I've always loved vintage. I mean, when we were kids, we would go because we weren't, wealthy either. We went to the thrift store because that's what we could afford.
Right.
So now it's like, okay, being here, it's an adventure.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know what you're going to get. You go and it's fun. It's exciting. And if you can share that with other people and join people's memories and stuff, I find so much stuff that people are like, my grandma sold that when I was a kid. I want it back. So, hey, we're going to do that for you.
I
So,
love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Great find, guys. Heck yeah.
Thank you.
Amazing. Okay, so Emily, you're on vacation. Have you been picking?
No, I have not gone picking yet. We just came on vacation yesterday, so I don't have an item like that I've picked, but I do have something that is very sentimental to me. My mom gave it to me on my wedding day when I got married. I'm now divorced to that person, but it still means something to me. It is, I wear it every day. It is my great grandmother's gold wedding band.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
That's awesome.
That is so wonderful.
And so it actually comes with another ring, but I always wear the gold band because I'll layer it with other rings. So I always keep that on me. Like I said, I don't ever take it off. So that would be something vintage. I didn't find, but it is something vintage that's sentimental to me.
Of course.
Absolutely.
love
That's so
that.
sweet. That is so sweet. Are you guys planning on doing any picking while you're out?
Yeah, because when we go meet Patty, we're gonna definitely do some picking, and then I hope to get out and do some here too. We're in Indianapolis, so
Oh, you're
I'm
not
hoping
far
to
from
get
me,
out.
Emily.
Oh,
I'm in
that's
Indiana.
right.
You're about 2 hours from me.
Kathy, I didn't know you were in Indiana. Misty's in
Me
Indiana
neither.
too.
Yeah. I'm up like in the very northwest corner. So I'm like literally the town next to me where I grew up. The border is right there to Illinois. So I'm like close to Chicago.
That's awesome.
So am I. That's where I live.
Do you know?
Up north
There we
Chicago,
go.
yes.
Okay, see now we've got to talk when you get back so we can meet
Yeah.
up. That would be so fun.
Oh, you guys
Yes.
should meet up. I love meeting up with other peeps that I know that are sellers and buyers. That's like the best part of this is actually the relationships that you build with people all over the country have been so rewarding. I can tell you 2 of my very best friends I've never met in real life, but I love them so much.
That's
You know what I mean?
awesome.
We are planning to meet, but yeah, this is real connection, guys, and it's good stuff. It is good stuff. I will tell you, I'm going to show you really quick. Hold on. Let me get my favorite thing to see.
Her plants live.
I bought this for myself, and then I've since decided to sell it because it's not the same green as my other
that's
green,
pretty.
but it's an Empoli decanter, and it is a stunner. And look at the
Is that
round.
an olive green or emerald green?
I have more of the olive that is like the Ellie Smith green, so it doesn't quite look right with my greens. So I was like, you know what?
Mm.
I bought it for me, but I'm passing it on. I'm going to sell it. So
We
That's
collect.
gorgeous. I love that.
thank you.
That is so pretty. I love the emerald
Love
green.
it.
Yeah, the springy grass green is like just gorgeous, gorgeous.
Yeah.
I will tell you guys one thing that I wish that I had known when I was a new seller was the shipping side of things.
Yes,
To
that
me,
was mine too. I did not realize how much time
yeah,
and the money that really goes into the materials. That was like, oh my goodness.
yes. I was talking with a coaching client this morning about that too. Pay yourself on your materials. So if shipping is $9.99 in pirate ship, charge $10.99, and that way you're at least by that dollar on that transaction offsetting your PayPal charge, you're
Mhm.
offsetting your tissue paper and your bubble wrap. And that is
That's an
okay. I mean,
awesome
shipping
tip.
can
Your
hit
Thank
ink,
you.
your
so
ink, your
don't
gas.
feel weird about adding an extra $1 to $1.50 if it's a big box, you
Yeah.
know, to the shipping total, because we do have to recoup our materials somehow, and that's how I do mine.
Mhm.
So,
Thank you. That's an awesome tip.
yeah, heck yeah. Anybody else got anything they want to add today before we say goodbye?
No, this was a lot of fun, and I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
appreciate you ladies.
Well,
I
I
would
I agree.
appreciate
It was so
it.
nice
I
meeting
enjoy it.
everybody.
You
I
too.
did
And I
enjoy
enjoy watching all of your live sales. Thank you all for all of
Me
your
too.
advice and your input. It really
Yes,
means a lot.
yes, and to
Emily, I would
everybody
love to
watching,
do a live sale with you if you do jewelry. I do clothing.
there you go.
Yes,
You guys.
accessories. Let's do it.
Do it. Absolutely. And this is a good way to close. Jonathan said, I love the friendships and camaraderie that have developed just even as a buyer with some sellers. Like Marcy and I are always joking about RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
What is so fun is we do have
Oh, yeah.
commonalities in this community. Find your tribe, find your people, stick with them, and thrive. So thank you guys all. Happy Monday. And I hope this is a good kickoff and pep talk to the beginning of your week of sales. And I appreciate all of you guys for watching. If you're watching on the replay again, please follow the links in the description of this video so you can go follow Cathy, go follow Emily, go follow Lori and Jackie, and show some love to these sellers just in following them. That's all you got to do, guys. And if you would give a big thumbs up to this video, that helps me grow my YouTube channel. And if you have not already subscribed to the Traveling Button YouTube channel, please do subscribe. Every subscriber helps me grow as well. So I appreciate you guys. And it was a pleasure. Kathy, Lori, Jackie, Emily, you guys.
Thank you
Sarah.
so much.
Thank
Great
you.
Thank you all for the constructive and candid conversation. I love it so much. Have a great week, everybody.
Take
See you
care.
soon.
Love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.